I knew he's gonna wild out and he's gonna do something crazy. Everybody want to know what I would do if I didn't win. I guess we'll never know.
What's up, guys? RicoCcapital back again for another video recap from today, man. We caught some monster QQQ puts for the ride down. Now, this wasn't random. This was not random. We were expecting this. We were waiting on this. So let me show you QQQ. Now, Monday night, right, or Sunday night going into Monday, we saw that we gapped up pretty heavily. This right here that I'm highlighting in yellow is signifying the gap between overnight action. This right here tells us, there's low liquidity, or there's liquidity here, but low stacked buyers, sellers here. It's just an area of interest. And so I love these type of plays, especially Mondays. I thought we were going to do the usual, Monday push up and then we fill the gap down. This is where we usually bank heavy. Now, we didn't quite do that. We did see kind of us gap and go here where we held and then went higher to our next zone, which is all good. We banked on some calls on the way up. So with that being said, I saw that we were on a yellow trend line, or just put a trend line up, so we respected it here Monday night going to Tuesday. More calls on Tuesday at open for the ride up. That worked to our zone. Now, while this is happening, I'm kind of realizing, or in the back of my mind, knowing that this gap fill is still here and we are going to come fill this. We do have news later in the week, so I said, okay, GDP news Thursday, likely we're going to fill it Wednesday or Thursday. Either weak hands gets out of this buying up here right before the news, and then we come down, or the news will, pre-market or after hours, it does that, takes out the gap. So those were the scenarios. Now, if we even came close to it and market open on Wednesday, then more than likely we're going to take it. And that's exactly what happened. So we're jumping on the 15-minute here. And I saw right, kind of near open, we're in between zones, and I was pre-market eyeing downside for QQ because I knew that if we broke this flag and we broke 491 zone right here, that we're going to drop down to 489, which, look at that solid 15-minute candle, exactly what happened. So we slammed the 488 one-day expiration puts right here when we ended up losing the 491, knowing we're dropping another $2 down to 489. And then from there, I know this is a small zone, so likely we're going to come down to the next zone, and that's exactly what we did. So those puts ran. We got filled at, or I think it was like $1.30, 130 bucks, and then dumped. So as we kind of came down this wick right here, we kind of came back up. They tried fighting it, but I saw even in this small area right here on the 15, a little bit of kind of like a flag here, bear flag. I knew, all right, we're probably going lower. Just be patient. If you kind of zoom in a little bit, you see here's the flag. We opened up outside the flag. Boom, we came down to the next zone right there. Easy work. And so from there, those puts rocketing, right? So we got in at 130 bucks. They ran to over 500, 500 contract plus. I'm all out at like 455, so they went over 500. Obviously deep in the money as we came down and finished the day around 484, 42. We ended up rolling down more puts once we got down to this zone. Once we got down to this zone, I wanted to see, now we are over the gap that I highlighted in yellow. You can see we are over this gap, and this is a guarantee for us, a guarantee, win, as long as we time it right. So right here, after we opened up under this zone, we popped up a little bit more, we slammed more puts, and as you can see, trickled all the way down and got into the gap. And so we even hit our next zone, and that's really all we're looking for, a move like that, zone to zone. We're making 100%, on one-day expirations, on lottos over 100%. And now that we're in the gap and we're holding the last few runners for the swing, kind of for the overnight, just in case we finish the rest of the gap, because you can see the auto gap here. We officially closed at 481. We haven't quite got there overnight yet. We came very close. You can see how we kind of dipped right there. So we have room, and we're going into news. So we'll see what happens. I really don't like swinging in this market. It's been kind of tough, but it's all good because we got to take that chance, and we banked pretty heavily. I was telling the team, and I was telling everyone I can tell, who cares about the money you made on Monday and Tuesday, size down, but size up on Wednesday. This is the day we're going to make our money. And then we'll size down Thursday and Friday. And who cares, right? Because the payday's Wednesday. I don't care if you make all your money on Monday or Friday. If you lose it all by the time the weekend comes, then you didn't really, win, obviously. So I want you to size down, not because of the plays, but because of the principle. Show me some discipline. Show me you can size up on the right plays and size down on every other, other plays you see. Not saying they're risky plays, but just saying, this isn't the super guarantee we're looking for. So beautiful action right here on this last end of the gap. And we stayed banking today. Huge, huge, huge play. And absolutely love that. So awesome work. Same thing for SPY. I'm not gonna go over SPY, but you can see, gap fill to this zone. Retested it, came all the way down. It was fighting it a little bit too much. We did play one lotto on SPY and we banked like 30-40%. It was just fighting it too much. I didn't like it. Sold for a win. But we stayed focused on QQ and Tech, because Q and Tech were a lot weaker today, as we saw Tesla top out, we saw Nvidia dump, we saw Apple pull back, Amazon, a lot of good names. So we knew Tech was kind of spiraling there. So wanted to keep that fresh in our minds as well. So, and I wanted to highlight this so you guys can learn a little bit from this. These are some awesome plays, and the cool thing about the market, guys, is you don't have to FOMO. We have so many good plays that happen like this all the time. Gap up Mondays out of the zones, that's a RicoCap thing right here. Gap fill Mondays, that's a tradition over here. We stay winning on those days, especially right at open on a Monday. Oh my God, if we get the gap fill, which we usually do, this is one of those rare days where it's a gap and go, but we get the gap fill and it's easy work. I love it. I love it a lot. So awesome stuff. Just wanted to hop on here and give y'all the quick highlight on that. And so just kind of keep giving some education out for those wanting to watch it and for the team. So I did kind of a live session on just kind of explaining this on Twitter. And so I wanted to get it in video form for you guys. So awesome stuff today. Let's keep it rolling, guys. Red or green, doesn't matter, guys. Let's keep focusing. Let's keep staying in the game. Let's live to trade another day. And let's not give up. Let's keep pushing forward. When we have things like this, levels or zones, the RicoCap zones, if you need these, wap.com/RicoCapital, go to RicoCap zones, sign up, you get access to them immediately, and you can have these game plans. This is my edge in the market, is why I stay profitable. This is how I continuously win. Sometimes it's harder, trading individual names because they don't move. They don't move sometimes the best. And don't get me wrong, I love it, but it doesn't make sense some days. SPY and Q makes a lot of sense because the higher probability of them going zone to zone is way more than any of these individual names, because individual names have other news and things going on. Indexes are more of a collective, so it's more heavy weighted on other things, right? Apple can have the perfect setup, but if some news drops, perfect timing, pushing it the opposite way, and you're wondering what the hell just happened, well, there you go. There's always something, right? So let's stick to our bread and butter. Let's keep it moving. Tomorrow is a brand new day, so let's see how we do and keep winning, guys. Let's keep the positivity and let's stay in the fight. Whether you're sidelines just watching or you're in the fight with me right now, I show up every day for my members and make sure they make some money with me, and we got to get it. I'm over here trying to change lives one trade at a time. So appreciate y'all watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one.
I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants.